Their loss, their suffering, fails to stir those who are under oath to help them. Parents forced to carry their infant's dead body on foot in Odisha's Malkangiri. A brother forced to carry his sister, a burn victim, on his shoulder in Uttar Pradesh's Hardoi. Man forced to carry the dead body of his 7-month-old niece on a cycle for over 10 kilometers in Kaushambi, again in Uttar Pradesh. A father forced to carry the body of his daughter on a stretcher for 20 kilometers in Kandhamal. A pregnant woman forced to trudge all the way to the hospital. All because they were denied an ambulance either on the pretext of non-availability or because they were too poor to pay a bribe.
हमारी सगी बहन है।
क्या हुआ था?
आग लग गई थी, छप्पर में आग लगी, ये अंदर पड़ गई। बानोई बुझाने चले, बानोई भी जले, हमारी बहन भी जली। वाहन लेने गए हमारे बानोई।
नहीं, अस्पताल में स्ट्रेचर नहीं दिया?
नहीं, अभी नहीं दिया भाई।
क्या कहा उन्होंने?
कहने लगे तुम अपना वाहन करो, ले जाओ।
तो तुम कंधे पे लाद के लिए आए?
और क्या?
Their story is in theirs alone. From Odisha to Uttar Pradesh, every village, every district has stories where the healthcare system has failed them, and every time the empty words of action are also the same.
मेरे संज्ञान में मामला आया है तो मैं इसकी जांच कराऊंगा और जो भी इसमें दोषी होगा उसको दंडित किया जाएगा और यह सुनिश्चित करने का प्रयास होगा कि भविष्य में इस तरह की कोई घटना न हो.
But rhetoric and promises mean nothing to this father who had to carry his 5-year-old daughter's dead body on a cart for 15 kilometers after being denied a hearse. Will the government pull up those responsible for their plight? Or will government health services continue its steady decline in quality with every passing day? Mirror Now report.
You're watching the Urban Debate on Mirror Now. Good evening. I'm Faye D'Souza. This is what we're looking at today. Ambulances. How often have we heard that people, even in the big cities of Bangalore, of Mumbai, of Delhi, have been denied ambulances from one hospital to another, have been denied ambulances to be taken to the hospital. The right to an ambulance is, quite frankly, the right to life. It is what each of us need and what each of us deserve. Why is it then there's this constant struggle, and there are constant stories now coming up of people who are having to carry their relatives on their shoulders because they weren't able to pay the bribes necessary to get ambulances, or the ambulances weren't available for free. The government of India has no regulation right now as far as ambulances are concerned, and this is something that we need to bring to the public conscience. This is something we need to demand from our government. Joining me on the show this evening, Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. K.K. Agarwal. He's the president of the Heartcare Foundation of India and the Indian Medical Association, joining us from Delhi. Dr. Kapil Zirpe is the president of the Indian Society of Critical Care Medicine. Vandana Mishra, ex-officio of the People's Union of Civil Liberties. Saveer Zaveri is an RTI activist, and Indrani Malkani, managing trustee of We Citizens Action Network. I welcome all of you to this conversation. I want to start with Dr. Kapil Zirpe. Please tell us, do Indians have a right to a free ambulance in case of emergency, or in case they're facing a life-threatening, in case they're facing a life-threatening ailment?
Yes, of course. Every Indian has a right to get the ambulance service during any emergency, and I don't think in India any ambulance services has been denied or asked for anything when we are coming to the saving life. It's a right of the common people. It's a right of the every Indian to get the emergency service when it is needed.
Well, why is it then, Dr. Zirpe, that if you're telling me that it's the right of every Indian to get an ambulance service, that we have so many visuals surfacing from across our country? We've covered these stories in Mumbai as well, where people have been denied ambulances. In Mumbai, a 4-year-old child died because he was not given an ambulance on time. Why do hospitals still deny ambulances?
Again, I don't think any hospital denies any ambulance service for anyone. Might be there is some communication gap in between the concerned authorities, as well as to get the right person to get that particular facility to those person. And recently, in last few months or in a year, even the government of India is making a lot of facilities available to get these victims ambulance. Like for example, in Maharashtra there is a free ambulance service, that is the 108. It is doing the fantastic job. Whenever there is any emergency, you just dial the 108. You will get the emergency ambulance immediately available, and they will pick up the patient and they will get it to the nearby hospital available as per the patient category. So I am sure these particular incidences which were happening, I don't know what exactly happened at that event, but probably there must be some communication gap. I really don't believe that any hospital or any administration is denying ambulance for the needy one.
Well, I'm surprised you don't believe it, Dr. Zirpe, because the visuals are on our screen. But Sameer Zaveri, RTI activist, even in our big cities, people are being denied ambulances. And the stories of people from across the country who don't get ambulances when they need it are simply appalling. In fact, I'm going to ask our team to open up the phone lines so we can bring in voices of people who will share with us stories of what's happening even in cities like Bangalore and Chennai and Hyderabad. But Sameer Zaveri, is it true that everybody gets ambulances whenever they need, like Dr. Kapil Zirpe is telling us?
Yes, and there is the case law in which I made complaint against the government doctor of the Bombay Municipal Corporation Hospital. They did not arrange the ambulance to transfer the patient from Bhagwati Hospital to the Sion Hospital, and there is the standard operative procedure set up by the Mumbai Municipal Corporation. When the patient required, there are some small hospital like Bhagwati Rajawadi in Mumbai, and there are some higher hospital like Sion, KM, Nair, JJ, the bigger hospital. So the patient first taken to the nearest hospital for emergency treatment, and the treatment is not, further treatment is not possible there. Then the doctor transferred to the higher center. So in this case, there is a simple procedure. I am reading 2 points that the medical officer should make the arrangement of ambulance of the transfer and providing the staff wardboy to accompany the patient, and the resident medical officer should accompany the patient while transferring the patient. So I came to know one incident, I made complaint in which the Bombay Municipal Corporation has conducted inquiry and penalized the doctor for such negligence, and it is written, I read 2 lines, that the doctor has not followed the prescribed procedure providing ambulance services even for patient, and it could have cost the patient his life. And in Sion Hospital, the visual which you are showing, the patient relatives carry them on stretcher, wheelchair, and in that kandhe pe. If you go to in Mumbai, the Sion Hospital, you will see the same condition. I wrote a letter to the Bombay Municipal Commissioner, the Ajay Mehta sir, who has good reputation, that there are patients' bed, there are the bug, khatmal, the toilet are very dirty, and I have written everything which I observed.
Right.
So the government officer, sir, आप डॉक्टर साहब आपका टॉयलेट कैसा है, घर में बताइए, ऑफिस में कैसा है बताइए, आपका बेड कैसा है, शायन हॉस्पिटल का बेड आप लेके जाइए और आपके घर का बेड वहां रखिए ना, 2 दिन तो सोइए साहब, पूरा खटमल खून चूस जाएगा आपका.
Right, I want to focus on specifically the issues of ambulances. Indrani Malkani, what are our rights really to ambulances? And I also want to point this out, a lot of times what we call an ambulance in India is not really an ambulance. It is just a van with the ability to fit a stretcher. There is no emergency care in there. There's no qualified person to look after what are called the golden hours of emergency immediately after an accident. What ideally should we have the right to as citizens?
Well, Faye, I'm glad that you brought this point up, because today any and every vehicle just writes ambulance and it becomes an ambulance. I mean, that is really a farce. I think other than in Delhi, there is an ambulance code, by the way, standards by which permit is given for a vehicle to run as an ambulance. And even in the ambulance, you will have different categories. There are cardiac ambulances, there are transport ambulances. A hearse where there is a dead body, that is not an ambulance, that is on hearse duty. So therefore, these categories are there, and there are many more. I don't have the document in front of me, but I think Delhi RTO has got standards for ambulance. This begs the question that why is there a lack of national policy? After all, healthcare is a basic right of every single citizen, every single individual staying in the country. Now, if you look at ambulances, whether it's the urban or the rural, let me cite an example without giving any name. In the most high-end area of Malabar Hill, and this has happened in Mumbai, and this has happened in front of me, where a cardiac patient had called for an ambulance, it comes late, and then it comes without not even a stretcher. I mean, I could not believe when I saw this. Suffice to say, the patient died. Ultimately, having reached the hospital, I'm fairly certain must have been dead on arrival. Now, again, in the ambulance, apart from the equipments that are supposed to be there, which are specific, when there is a pregnant woman, what is the care to be given? When there is a burn victim, what is the care to be given? So just carrying a patient is not good enough. You must also know what is the first care that you need to give to the patient till the patient arrives at the hospital. Now, I am not a doctor, but I am aware that certain lacuna in our system, and to a great extent an apathy. And when you talk about, I am surprised that the doctor on the panel, excuse me for not catching the name, the audio is a little light, said that there are stray cases. Not true. In urban areas, in Mumbai, if it can happen, and it is not impossible at all to think that it's happening elsewhere too. Maximum city, that is why I'm saying this. We have no paramedics bill.
Right. Let me
that
right.
means
Let me just bring in Anila Singh. Anila Singh is the spokesperson of the BJP. Anila ji, we found out, of course, that there is no policy in this country. There is no rule. There is no regulation on how ambulances need to function. We should have a regulation in this country saying that if someone needs an ambulance for an emergency, and they do not have the money to pay for it, they should be granted an ambulance. That if a particular service is calling itself an ambulance service, it cannot be a for-profit service that asks people to pay for that service. Even every life in this country is precious, and I don't understand why we don't have a policy when it comes to ambulances. Is this something the government is looking at? Anila, can you hear me?
You have to repeat your question, Faye, because I had some audio problems, so I was not able to follow what you were asking me.
Okay, my question to you is, we've discovered that we do not have a policy about ambulances in this country. Is that something the government is working on, and don't you think that at this point we need a policy that will tell these ambulances how they should be functioning?
All right. Faye, before I answer your question, if you can get my audio problem corrected, that will be great. So I'll be able to participate in the debate in more fruitful manner. Now, what I can recollect is that you asked me that why there is not any ambulance policy, isn't it? So, Faye, if I talk to you in regard of Uttar Pradesh, when we came into power, Uttar Pradesh was really in a very bad status if we talk about the health condition of medical services provided to the people living in the state. One ambulance, I have done the calculation. If we talk about the 108 service, ambulance service, there was 7 ambulances on 10 lakh people, and if we talk about 102 service, ambulance service, 1 ambulance on 1 lakh people. This is the condition of the ambulance services. We are talking about 102 and 108, and if we talk about the ambulance services which are in the hospital, even that too was in a very pathetic state. This government, Bharatiya Janata Party government, definitely is trying very hard to correct the system, to correct the procedure, to follow so that the governance can be given in a proper way. But unfortunately, as I told you, as I mentioned, the health status is absolutely very poor. If we talk about the doctors, there is only one doctor on 20,000 people. There is only 1 bed on 4,000 people. So 1 dental surgeon on 10 lakh of people. So that goes with the ambulance services as well. So at times, not always, but at times it happens that the ambulances in the hospital, they might have gone to give these services to some other patient, and at the same time some other patient requires the services and ambulance is not there. So, but again, this is not the reason for not providing ambulance services to those who require it. We are far behind the WHO standard, which says that one ambulance should be there on 1,000 people. Here, there is, I can say, one ambulance on an average on 7 to 8 lakh people. So, a lot more has to be done in this field. Present government is for sure trying to do its best, but it will take little time. Meanwhile, we expect sensitivity from those who are involved in health services.
Right, let me ask this question of Dr. K.K. Agarwal. Dr. Agarwal, so here's the thing, the government says that they are working very hard, but yeah, I'll come to everyone. The government, Dr. K.K. Agarwal, the government says that they're working very hard to make healthcare accessible. My problem here is, while it might be a long haul to make healthcare accessible, when it comes to ambulances and when it comes to people who are in need of critical emergency care, we can't really wait. We will lose lives if we are not able to fix this problem on a war footing.
Let me go with very basics. Number one is, what do you mean by an ambulance? Ambulance is required to save a life, and to save a life you have to be within reach of 5 minutes. Life is reversible only if an ambulance reaches within 5 minutes. After that, it is only a transport carrier. So therefore, number of ambulances required in the country has to be decided like a PCR van of police in Delhi. You require thousands of ambulances, and that's the requirement of ambulances, and that's the duty of the state health authorities. It has to be done. It is a right of every individual to receive a life resuscitation within 5 minutes of sudden cardiac event. That's one. Two. Now, ambulance can be private and an ambulance can be government. It is a duty of the government, if they have the facility for a police to reach within 5 minutes for a crime, they have to have a disaster team with an ambulance to reach within 5 minutes. Private ambulances, normally what is happening today is, every private ambulance will say, I will take my patient to my hospital only. That has to be out. That's not legal, that's not allowed. Like a hospital is not supposed to force its patients to have a chemist shop within the hospital. You are free to buy. Similarly, in an ambulance, wherever ambulance services are advertised, unless you say this is a transport service from a hospital, it has to be available to everybody. Now, number three is ambulance. There is already a law. The law is very clear. Emergency cannot be denied. No hospital can deny an emergency. And in an emergency, whether it is private or government, you are supposed to provide free first aid. An ambulance is a free first aid mechanism. If any hospital says no, does not mean the system is wrong. If a hospital is violating any norms, not providing an ambulance, we cannot blame the medical system. We cannot blame the medical profession. We can say, yes, this hospital has done a violation, should be punished. If some hospital is saying, denying and asking a person to take a patient on walking together, he should be taken care of. Number two, dead body, for which we have Harsh vans. Remember, dead body needs to have the same respect as that of a human body. A person, still his 5 senses get merged with the 5 elements of the nature, the body has to be respected. You cannot say that dead body le jao, this and that. Let's not blame the medical system or the medical profession. Let's say that we will not allow any violation to disrespecting of a human body or a disrespect to a dead body.
Right.
And if that
happens,
and
Dr. K.K. Agarwal is making an excellent point. Dr. K.K. Agarwal is making an excellent point. He's saying that the service of ambulances has to be provided by the state. Let's make a clear distinction here. There are 3 different kinds of ambulances. One is, of course, emergency services that have to reach within 5 minutes to be able to save a life. Second is transportation services, which is when an injured or a sick person has to be taken from one hospital to a different hospital. And third is the hearse, which is for dead bodies. There are these 3 services that have to be provided by the government of the country. Vandana Mishra is ex officio of the People's Union of Civil Liberties. Why is it we don't have a policy yet? And is it fair to say, like Anila Singh said, that we're working hard enough, we've inherited a mess? The truth is, every hour that goes by without a policy on ambulances, we're losing lives.
मेरे ख्याल से पॉइंट ये नहीं है एम्बुलेंस पॉलिसी का, पॉइंट है कि हमारा जो एम्बुलेंस चलाएंगे या जो एम्बुलेंस का ऑर्डर देंगे कि एम्बुलेंस मरीज़ को लेने जाए, उनका आउटलुक क्या है, उनका नज़रिया क्या है पेशेंट के प्रति। ये सिर्फ एम्बुलेंस का पॉइंट नहीं है, हम हर जगह देखते हैं अस्पतालों में और मेडिकल सर्विसेज में कि द डॉक्टर्स एंड द स्टाफ ऑफ द हॉस्पिटल इज़ सो callous and insensitive towards poor people. There is a strong dividing line in their approach, that when there is a VIP, when there is a person who belongs to upper class, then their approach changes, and when they are treating a poor man, then their approach is different. They are treated as insects, I will say. So this is the approach of the doctors, and they just forget that they have taken an oath, they have chosen this profession which is in which service is most important, in which patient is most important, and they just forget, and it has become such a greedy problem, because it is not a question of Lucknow or Saharanpur or Bombay, it's all over India that the profession has earned ill name. So what I feel, that first they should remember their duties, and they should not distinguish between the poor and that this is a poor fellow and you can ignore him. This is not proper. And if they do it, and if they fail in performing their duties, then the government should take stern action, because I feel that this is, nowadays people talk of Deshdroh and sedition and all. I think it is not Deshdroh if you appreciate a better game by a better team. It is Deshdroh if you don't treat, because what is your people properly, if you don't treat your patient, because Desh is how you, what is Desh? Desh is people of the country, and if people are neglected and the poor people of the
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I want to bring in some people who've called in right now. Mrs. Mohana is on the phone line from Noida. Mrs. Mohana, go ahead. We can hear you.
Thank you, Faye. This is about CGHS services. They are supposed to provide, by the order of the DGHS, they are supposed to provide 80 plus monthly once visit at home. But they do not come, and on complaining to the zonal office, then they come. And but otherwise, as a practice, they never come to visit the 80 plus who are unable to even get down the stairs or go to the dispensary. For the whole of Noida, there is only one dispensary, and the services they give is not right. At least 80 plus, they should come home and visit, and whomsoever calls, they refuse immediately. They do not come.
Right. Right. Okay, let me also bring in Christopher. Christopher is on the phone line from Kolkata. Christopher, go ahead.
Ma'am, I was just following the news on about this shocking thing about a patient not getting an ambulance. The thing is, what I see in every debate, it's the BJP people coming and having a blame game. The biggest thing is they are embarking on such a thing about Kau Rakshak and just the other day, Swami Subramaniam, the fool, he was talking about building shelters, and there's so much concern about building shelters and taking care of cows. And here we got human beings getting burnt because there's no ambulance. Instead of wasting our precious tax money on cow shelters, these people need to use that money to get ambulances and proper hospitals. You go to the hospitals, where some people even have to buy a tetanus injection. Why is our healthcare system so bad? Why are they not debating and getting things here? Why is the people of the BJP just wanting to blame? It's 3 years that they are here. They're celebrating Narendra Modi's 3 years of rule. But today they're saying, give us more time. He's such a popular Prime Minister. He can decide overnight about demonetization. Why is he taking so much time to decide about our health care? Does he need another 5 years, like Subramanian is very proudly saying? This is pathetic. They should stop this.
But Anila Singh, do you want to respond to Christopher from Kolkata, who's called in saying, why isn't healthcare a priority for this government? Anila ji.
Because my audio is not very clear, what I have recollected, I think so, your caller, he is blaming BJP government in the center, that why they are not doing a good job in health services. Most probably he is saying that, and we are concentrating more on Gau Vigilante or Gau Raksha and all. Perhaps he is saying this thing. Here I just want to tell him that since Narendra Modi ji has become Prime Minister of this country, he and his government is doing great job in all the fields. I will request the caller that he should go and check the figures which were during UPA time and now. So he very well will come to know about the status in the health services. If we talk about Uttar Pradesh, we are setting almost 6 aims in this state. So government is trying its best. Now if I come back, like one of the caller was from Uttar Pradesh, probably from Noida, even she was marking few things. So I just want to say one thing, whenever Bharatiya Janata Party government comes and people start blaming that we are not doing anything. What is governance? Like if we talk about the PM or the CM in state, if we talk about Uttar Pradesh, because you showed many of incidents in UP only happening regarding ambulance services. So what is governance? Governance is the dynamic exercise of management, policy and power. And government is the tool. If the government is corrupt, then governance is not delivered in a transparent
Anila Singh, before
way.
you give us a lesson on what governance is and what government is, the simple question is, why don't we have a policy when it comes to Anila Singh? Why don't we have a policy? The question that the viewer asked was very simple. Why don't we have a policy when it comes to ambulances? Shouldn't that have been at a higher priority? The fact that we don't have a policy, and you've acknowledged that we don't have a policy, shouldn't that have been at a higher priority than a cattle slaughter ban right now? Given that the cattle slaughter ban is about cruelty to animals, which we accept, cattle slaughter ban is about prevention of cruelty to animals, shouldn't we also be preventing cruelty to human beings, Anila Singh?
There is a policy and there are policies for everything. The problem is the earlier government, they never recognized these policies. Policies were made and then
there is no policy.
Reason is because they never wanted to give good governance to the people. The people who chose them to form the government. But here if we talk about Bharatiya Janata Party in center or in the states, we are here to deliver. But definitely, again, I'm going to say, and I'm not going to shy away from the fact that, yes, we are new in the system. We are trying to change it. The infested system, infested with crime and corruption, we are trying to change it. We are trying to streamline the things. But it is going to take little time. Definitely, it is going to take little time. I am not
Indrani Malkani, I want you to correct this point. There is no policy. There is no policy about ambulances or the use of ambulances and the provision of ambulances in this country, is there?
Can I talk?
No, that is why I would like to bring to the attention of our BJP spokesperson that in certain matters it is non-negotiable regarding a state or the center. The center actually lays out the main policy. The main act is enacted in Parliament, which then every state must follow. Now, ambulance does not have, and that is why I am concentrating on 2 points here, Faye. One is regarding the ambulances are owned by various NGOs, by various bodies, and there is scant respect for efficiency and understanding what is the requirement of an ambulance service. Now, that can only happen when there is a uniform policy. Without a policy, you cannot have good governance. That is the point. May I suggest that 2 points be taken into consideration for making the policy. One is there has to be a uniform number. every state will come up with one number by which you dial for an ambulance. Look at the US where we have 911. So wherever you call from in the United States, you will have one number. Everybody remembers that number. Now here 108 in Maharashtra, for example, was actually somewhere else, which was then taken. It was the disaster control cell number of Mumbai Municipal Corporation. Suddenly you take it away. Now people will not remember the common name, common number, uniform number. The other point is that, as Dr. Agarwal has earlier mentioned, that there should be a caller system. The nearest ambulance to the caller must be able to reach,
Yes.
like the Olas do, that you check. So that system we don't have, because we don't have a central system. So for ambulances, ma'am, this is one of the points of good governance, that please have uniform policy across the country. Whereas whether it is the paramedics, because healthcare or life, the value of life matters little. And the caller who called regarding poor and not the caller, one of your panel members, that whether it is poor or the rich, I can guarantee you that urban areas, rural areas, when it comes to these sort of apathy, it is the same. So it will keep on happening unless the policy is there and the implementing authorities.
Right. Dr. K.K. Agarwal pointed this out really well, that it is the responsibility. Yes.
As they wish.
Dr. K.K. Agarwal pointed out really clearly that it is the government's responsibility to provide the service of ambulances. Dr. Agarwal, can we go around saying that, oh, listen, we're new to the system, we're just starting off? How long does it take to form an ambulance policy?
This is what I'm talking about. The government policy should not be that this year we'll allow 100 people to die, next year 99, then 90, then 80, then 70. There should be no preventable death right from now. Why are we not having a surgical strike on the availability of an ambulance service? How can you say that we will go on a phased manner? Which is a legal requirement, which is for the life and death. That requirement has to be finished with no time, on a yesterday basis, not tomorrow's basis. So I don't agree that we have done so much, we are doing so much, and next year we will have 100 ambulances, then 200, then 300. Anything which is related to emergency, it's a crisis, it has to be made available right from now and not tomorrow.
It should be available right from now and not tomorrow. Vandana Mishra, ये जो जवाब अनिला जी ने,
we have an emergency medical services bill.
We don't have an emergency medical services bill. Vandana Mishra, हमारे पास ऐसा कोई पॉलिसी नहीं है, कोई पॉलिसी नहीं है जो लोगों की जानें बचा सकते हैं.
देखिए, we are a welfare state. It is our fundamental duty to provide best of health services to our people. And what we are doing, the basic facilities are not given. We organize events like Yoga Day. We spend crores on this, but we can't give that money to ambulances and to basic services in the hospitals. Now what is, again I come to that point, that what is this yoga for whom? I say that this yoga is for well-fed people, not for the poor of the poor people who don't need yoga.
Yoga is for health only, for fitness. You can't question yoga.
Yes, it's okay. It's okay.
No,
it's okay.
I
yoga,
don't agree
but
here, Faith. This is
you have
not
seen
right.
the TV.
Let us look at ambulance as cutting across.
We are not. I think
that while there is a fair amount of attention being paid to yoga, it's low-hanging fruit, and an ambulance policy needs to be on higher priority.
Which are absolutely
Look, you are distributing T-shirts. You are distributing T-shirts. You are distributing mats and everything. How many crores you spent on this event? Do we need such events? I don't think we need such events. We need to spend the money on basic infrastructure. What I mean to say, I'm not against yoga. I do yoga.
We definitely need such events. We definitely need awakening in people to take care of their health, ma'am.
Who are these people?
Well, you know, Samir Zaveri, RTI activist Samir Zaveri ji, यही हमारा problem है. हमें योगा करना है ताकि लोगों
Perhaps it
you
might be
see
your
the
thought
picture of that
process
man who was carrying his sister's body, and see does he see the TV? Does he watch the TV?
people should be fit enough.
मैं 45 सेकंड लूंगा. पहले बताना चाहूंगा कि मुझे पता था कि जो आर्टिकल संविधान का 21 है, राइट टू लाइफ, विच इंक्लूड राइट टू इमरजेंसी मेडिकल सर्विसेज. देयरफॉर in my public interest litigation, Honorable Bombay High Court on 15 January 2009 gave direction to state government to provide emergency ambulance services, which is ultimately, after fighting Supreme Court, contempt petition against the government in High Court, in April 2014 in Maharashtra state, the 937 ambulances service has been started. Just I am giving 2 points. I have the copy because I am petitioner in that PIL, that the on receiving call medical emergency services, the 108 service, arranged to take the patient to the nearest hospital, and this agreement clearly take the 55 crore rupees bank guarantee from the service provider, and we found some shortcoming. So Honorable Bombay High Court appointed the court officers to do surprise inspection of some railway stations of the 108 ambulance services. They found some shortcoming, some negligence, some defects. So 2,25,000 rupees penalty was imposed to the service provider of ambulance. 1. 2. Equality before law, Article 14 state that whether poor, whether rich, whether politician, whether मोदी साहब, whether हमारे चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब, सबको इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ है. मगर ये सच सामने दिख रहा है कि आज एक गरीब को देखिए कितनी बुरी हालत है. इमरजेंसी में उनको मेडिकल नहीं मिलती है, उनके फैमिली मेंबर की मौत होती है, बेमौत मरते हैं वो. उनको अंतिम क्रिया के लिए कंधे पे लेके 20-20 किलोमीटर जाना पड़ रहा है. और वही अगर चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब जो हमारे प्रतिनिधि है, हम में से एक है, हमारे पैसे से हम उनको सैलरी देते हैं, ठीक है, उनको एक सर्दी जुकाम छींक भी आ गया ना, अब हेलीकॉप्टर से उसको 4 डॉक्टर करेंगे, साहब छींक आ गया आपको. इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ कहाँ जाता है? आपकी सेंसिटिविटी कहाँ जाती है? और बीजेपी ने तो प्रॉमिस किया है, बीजेपी को उसके लिए लोगों ने वोट किया है. तो प्लीज अपना प्रोपोगंडा मत कीजिए. और बीजेपी के, सॉरी मैं पॉलिटिशियन नहीं हूँ, मगर एक चीज बताना चाहूंगा मैं कि ये जो म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन का GR है बहुत अच्छा है, सर्कुलर. कोई भी बॉम्बे की म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन की हॉस्पिटल में फॉलो होता है क्या? स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर है जो मैंडेटरी है. अगर वो भी होगा तो लोगों की जानें बचेगी. एटलीस्ट गरीब को जो बेसिक फैसिलिटी मिलना चाहिए, बेसिक. हम गरीब इंसान आपसे कुछ लग्जरियस चीज नहीं मांग रहा है. वो नहीं कह रहा हमको टीवी दो, हमको एयर कंडीशन दो, हमको 5 स्टार फैसिलिटी दो. वो बोल रहा है भाई मेरे बच्चा बीमार है, उसकी जान बचाओ, उसको एक बेसिक मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट दे दो, बस उसको 4 दवाई दे दो भाई. वो भी आप नहीं देंगे तो फिर मतलब क्या है? आप पब्लिक के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होकर लोगों को क्या करेंगे बताइए? आप खुद आपको सेटिस्फाई है क्या? और दूसरी बात, जब जो पॉलिटिक्स का थोड़ा बहुत ऑफ द टॉपिक है, 10 सेकंड लूंगा मैं, कि जब बॉम्बे म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के इलेक्शन थे ना, तो हमारे देवेंद्र फडणवीस साहब, जो LLB है, जिनका मैं खुद एक इंडिविजुअल बहुत रिस्पेक्ट करता हूं, उन्होंने कहा था कि शिवसेना खंडनी पार्टी है. ऐसा वर्ड मैंने अखबार में पढ़ा है, टीवी में सुना है, और बाद में हो गया. बाद में सबके फोटो साथ में आ रहे, और उनकी जो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सरकार साथ में है. तो पब्लिक को सब समझती है, पब्लिक को आप उल्लू मत समझो. रोटी कपड़ा मकान का वादा दे दे के आज 65 साल से पब्लिक को उल्लू बना के एक सरकार आती है, दूसरी आती है, दूसरी भगाते, तीसरी आती है, फिर वही कब तक चलाएंगे आप? इंडिया को कब तरक्की कराएंगे? सिंगापुर देखिए, मैं 1999 में सिंगापुर गया था.
Let me bring in some more voices. Major Bairam is on air right now. Major Bairam joins us from Pune. Major Bairam, go ahead. We can hear you.
Good evening to you. My compliments to the last speaker. He's hit the nail on the head. Absolutely perfectly brought out. Now, coming to ambulances. May I carry on?
Yes.
Yeah, now coming to
please go ahead.
The last speaker was spot on. He's brought it out so perfectly. Absolutely spot on. Now, coming to ambulances. It's a fallacy to say there is a shortage. I know my friends, my community, the Tatas, the Birlas, the Punabalas, hundreds of ambulances they have donated. They have donated free. No government hospital dare say there is a shortage. You go in their backyard, those ambulances are lying with grass growing in them. They have not been used. I go and look at them. What do the hospitals say? हमारे पास driver नहीं है. Yeah, you give your driver, you give your doctors, and we will run your ambulances. What utter rubbish. They have donated you a well-equipped Class 5 vehicle. And they expect you now to give a doctor also for it. They want you to give a driver for it. They say, we do not have the staff. So where are these ambulances lying in the dozens? They are lying in the backyard. Grass is growing through them. So please do not accept this. There's a shortage of ambulances. The philanthropists of Pune and Bombay have donated it in hundreds. Thank you.
Okay. So we do have ambulances. There are some ambulances being available, but this is the fundamental point. The fact that we're still today, yes, Indrani, I'm coming to you about this. The fact that we're still arguing about the fact that we don't have a policy. We need to have a clear policy across the country. Who pays for the ambulances? Whose responsibility is it? What number should be dialed? There should be one clear number across the country, like Indrani pointed out, one clear number that we can all dial across the country in case of emergencies to call an ambulance. When the ambulance comes, it should take you to the nearest hospital, not to the hospital that the ambulance belongs to. And all of this will happen if the government gets around to writing a policy for ambulances. Indrani, that's the fundamental problem. We don't have a policy. There are no rules, which means that right now running an ambulance is a profit-making service, and that's why people ask for money.
Absolutely right. You see what happens when these ambulances actually should be working like a fire brigade, because they are both complementary, and that is how it is run in the best practices all over the world. So there is absolutely no reason as to why till date the two things that go together, because you can't take ambulance out of the equation of emergency medical services and the issue of paramedics. Because when the ambulance comes to you, if the ambulance is not equipped to handle what they have come for, the call, then there's no point. It's just like another vehicle. So therefore, from all of this point, we need to come to the same conclusion which we have been talking about, is that have uniform policy, have a number, and have a call center. That is how it is done. It is not rocket science. No. And unless we have uniform policy across the country, each state will deal with it in its own way, and everyone will give an interpretation. This, as rightly the caller just now spoke about many philanthropists, many organizations having donated ambulances. But are they capable of running it? They are not. It should be run professionally, and it should be, and very often healthcare is being attached to this. Healthcare is a separate issue. The first thing is the question of the vehicle. Yes. If the vehicle is not correct, it's a question of the hardware, it's the medicine, it's the personnel. All of this goes into making an ambulance service. So you can't just have only one aspect being talked about. So whereas we have a very proactive central government, and I'm fairly certain that no one wants to really not do it, for some reason all these pieces are not coming together. And emergency medic, except
right,
for
I want to bring in Kapil. I want to bring in Dr. Kapil.
Right. So that is why uniformity is required.
With Dr. Kapil Zilpe is the president of the Indian Society of Critical Care. I just want to understand from you. When you talk about critical care medicine and trauma, what is it that we need as ambulances? Are we falling short, like Indrani said, of the actual vehicles, of the equipment, of the personnel, or is it the policy?
See, I was listening it very patiently since last 30 minutes. The points which are generally discussed in a scattered manner, one has to understand it's not ambulance, it's an emergency medical service that is known as a pre-hospital care management. This concept was poor in India, but now it is gaining momentum since last 2 to 3 years. It is not only question of the vehicle. It is you have to understand the extent of the problem. It's the number of the vehicles, the condition of the vehicle, type of the vehicle, facilities available in that vehicle, the communication amongst them. Like for example, ambulance might be the simple ambulance to get the regular patients, or the critical ill patients, or trauma, polytrauma patients, you need the ATLS ambulance. For heart attack patients, you need the cardiac ambulance, where the personnel inside the ambulance as well as facilities are more important rather than only vehicle or type of the vehicle. Now question comes to the trauma. If you see, trauma is one of the major problem in our country. And again, the emergency services should be made available to each and every person, that everybody agrees that trauma person needs to be carried to the nearby trauma radio hospital. It should not be go to the hospital which has the only basic facilities. It should go to the hospital which has certain facilities which will help to save that trauma victim. So it's an art, it's a science. And here is a teamwork. Here everybody, the starting from the vehicle, driver, the personnel inside the ambulance, the facilities inside the ambulance, their communication amongst them, where they are going, where they are bringing the patients. And this, if you understand the extent of this issue, then you can solve the issue. So our system, unfortunately, is not auditable. If we make this system auditable, we'll come to know whether it is really shortage or it is a man-made shortage. What needs, even the training of the ambulance person is a priority along with your number of vehicles. So if you see, it's like one of the key area of the healthcare. Emergency medical system is one of the major part of any hospital, government or whether it is a private. Then again, you have to understand that when you are getting the call to any particular hospital, they have to get the proper information, what type of the patient, what they need, what they expect, and accordingly you have to send the ambulance. This is where I look at this problem. I know this is not simple. I am not a political person. I am a doctor. I would like to address this issue in a more coordinated manner rather than emotional or political way. But definitely in India, the emergency medical system concept is gaining momentum, and in Maharashtra, 108 is doing fantastic job. I don't know the few of the incidences, whatever mentioned by the few panelists.
Dr. K.K. Agarwal, we can go point by point, step by step, like you said, but that will just mean that we are going to lose 100 people this year and only 99 people next year, and that while that might seem incremental to Dr. Kapil Zippi, that's not exactly enough. Because this is an emotional problem, this is a political problem, this needs to be talked about in this tone, because there are people here who lose loved ones every day in our country because we are not putting this on priority. Dr. Agarwal.
I totally agree. Like a police department, like a PCR, like a disaster, like a firearm, this has to be taken on priority, and a person has a right to receive emergency medical care within 5 minutes. Every person in the ambulance, see, it doesn't matter what type of an ambulance you are getting. First of all, it should be available. Even if you transport people in time, even that service today is not available. We are not even talking about a critical care ambulance to be available within 5 minutes at a pan-India level. Let's start from step one. In step one, at least something has to be available to everybody. So when police is available, I propose that in the city of Delhi, we train all the police people in CPR. Because we thought that ambulance is not there. So in Delhi, if you dial 100, the police person can come and give the CPR. But that's not the answer. But that was an alternative. There was no other alternative. And we did that. So therefore, like a PCR is available, when you say that police is available within 5 minutes of crime, why can't an ambulance be available within 5 minutes of crime? Once those ambulances are available, then you can start talking about upgrading them. At least basic ambulance service has to be available.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's an excellent point. Let's start one step at a time and put in the basic ambulance service that will come within 5 minutes, which is the most important period. Stephen is on the phone line from Delhi. Stephen, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Faye. Regarding the footage being shown of Hardoi, UP, where a man has been denied, ambulance as well as service of a stretcher, I can clearly see in the background 3 to 4 ambulances stranded over there. So if somebody says that there is a shortage of ambulance, then either it is misleading or probably they are not aware of it. When fingers are pointed about hospital administration in Delhi, why the same is, tried to be swept under the carpet when it comes to UP government? And another thing is that policy and governance go together. Where there is a lack of policy, how can the governance succeed?
Absolutely. There is a lack of policy, and you're so right. In that visual that we're running on our screen with the man, we can see him on the screen right now, is holding his sister who is a burn victim. I want to point out, and go back to Dr. K.K. Agarwal, burn victims have to be handled with care. They cannot be carried over somebody's shoulder. This person suffered severe burns because her home caught fire. And this is the manner in which she is being moved. And the brother has given us responses to the media saying very clearly that he was asked for money which he didn't have. This is a life that could be saved, that should be saved, that we're losing for money, Dr. Agarwal.
I only want to say is cases like that spoil the whole image of the medical profession, should be investigated and should be punished. Unless you do that, a message will go that chalta hai. No, that attitude cannot happen. Wherever we find injustice being done to the people, let's not go back and say medical profession aisa hai. Let's investigate, do the root cause analysis, try to fix it up and punish the culprits. Whosoever, whether it is head of the institution or anybody, such types of cases, unless investigated and properly acted upon, public will lose the faith in the medical system.
That's really well said. Anila Singh, I'm going to come back to you on this. You did say, of course, it will take time. How much time does it take to work on a ambulance policy? Why is it not priority? If we are doing Yoga Day, International Yoga Day, with so much gusto for the general health of our people, can't we focus also on ambulances? Shouldn't it have been top priority for the government? My second question to you, if the cattle slaughter ban, which was such a carefully designed policy, was brought about to prevent cruelty against animals, shouldn't we also be preventing this sort of cruelty against our own citizens first?
Definitely there is a policy, but the willpower to implement that policy was lacking with the earlier governments, as I mentioned.
There's no policy.
But definitely...
No, Anila Singh, I'm not talking about previous governments. Anila Singh, we're not talking about previous governments. First of all, there is no policy. And if there was no policy, there is no point talking about willpower to implement a policy that doesn't exist.
But what we have inherited, definitely I have to talk about that, Faye. We can't deny it. We can't deny the fact. The system which we have inherited. If we talk about Uttar Pradesh, if we talk about Central,
I'm asking you about a policy.
About other states as well. BJP
I'm asking you about a policy that doesn't exist. Is there anybody in the government, Anila Singh, who is working on a policy for ambulances and critical care rights now within the government that you are aware of?
There is a system, definitely there is a system. Every hospital has got ambulance as well, but in the name of ambulance, we know that what type of ambulances were there. They were in dilapidated condition, horrible condition, unhygienic. But if we talk about Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister has ordered that ambulances has to be in good condition. If the equipments are not working in ambulance, then the operator will be punished, he will be fined. So we are taking steps. Rome was not built in a day. We are trying to change the system. We are correcting the process, definitely, but some time has to be taken in that.
Why are we not looking at the whole
and as I mentioned
India
earlier,
policy?
I totally understand the question which you are asking me, and this is a question like everybody wants that I should answer, and I am answering. That we should appreciate the willpower of present government. We are trying to correct the procedure. We are trying to correct the thought process. We are trying to correct the system here. See, government is there to give good governance, and the administration also, whether we talk about the hospital or we talk about the police or any other system, they have to work with the ruling government. We know that if we talk about the UP or any other state, if the system was not working properly, some time has to be given to the ruling government to change the things, to correct the system.
All right, I have to wrap up this discussion, unfortunately, but it is something that we need to talk about with far more seriousness than we're giving it right now. We have, while Anila Singh says Rome wasn't built in a day, today's International Yoga Day was built over a period of 3 years. We could have spent also 3 years building an ambulance critical care policy, an emergency policy in this country that we don't have. Our appeal to the government is this: if you haven't realized up till now that we don't have a policy and we need one, please start working on it now. It's fairly simple. Most countries in the world have a policy. We have plenty of people on this panel who can consult with you on what the policy should be like, and it needs to be brought in completely on a war footing. We need to have an ambulance service with the right equipment that can show up within 5 minutes of a phone call that will take you to the nearest hospital. This cannot be a process that asks for money. It cannot be a process that makes a profit. It's as simple as that. And a policy is what we need first of all. A policy on paper. It is not that hard to do, and the government must put it on priority. Thanks for watching.